There it is, then. The whole truth.
So the duel the boss died in was rigged from the start.
By Black Alberic. But even he was just a puppet.
George, too. Though his circumstances were a bit different.
Yeah. And what was that thing possessing Elisa's dad anyway?
It looked like he was taken over by another persona. The chief of the gnomes.
The being that possessed him has achieved immortality through means different from mine. I suspect it lives on by becoming one with any descendant of the gnomes it deems worthy. Almost akin to a parasite of sorts.
Father.
We also learned the truth about Aryan Road, or Leanne Sandlot as she was once known. She spent 250 years watching over the Empire, as well as the man she loved most.
A saint in the truest sense of the word.
But... that means the guy she spent all that time watching over is...
I admit, I always did have my suspicions. Why, for instance, did Emperor Eugen go to such lengths to support the Chancellor?
You're right. It all makes sense now. His Majesty had the entire truth in his hands this whole time. The Black Records.
He knew that the Lionheart Emperor, founder of Thors, father of the Renaissance, and victor in the War of the Lions 250 years back, had been reborn as Gileath Osborne, the Blood and Iron Chancellor. Yeah.
I never imagined reincarnation would be possible.
Paranormal bullcrap. Except it's for real this time, isn't it?
Of all the things for the visions to show us. Those witless fools! Why didn't Leanne and Dreikels come to me? Did you not say we were friends? Was it all just a lie? No. I am the one at fault. How could I have been so blind for centuries?
Grandmother.
Rose.
Roselia, what can you tell us about this Ishmelga?
The Ebon Knight.
All signs point to him being the one behind all this, don't they?
It radiates an aura unlike any other divine knight we've encountered.
I do not know. This particular divine knight has remained mostly hidden for over 1,000 years. It was absent for both the War of the Lions 250 years ago and the Dark Dragon's appearance 900 years ago. However,
it may have been the one behind them, or perhaps the one behind every tragic event in Erebonia's dark history.
No way. Valimar, Ordine, and all the other divine knights we've seen thus far have each had their own conscious mind. What if that mind were to become warped by malice, amassing it as a kind of power?
The Gnomes and the Hexen clan have been at odds from the very start. Even still, we managed to reach a compromise 1,200 years ago. We stood side by side as we sealed off the Great One. We worked arm in arm to help found the Empire. But 800 years ago, after the reclamation of the capital, the Gnomes suddenly broke off all contact with us.
And the one behind all of that was the Ebon Knight. It must have taken over the gnomes and made them into its followers. Well, that's the nice way of putting it, I guess. In reality, they're nothing more than its brainwashed minions.
And so they got involved with all sorts of shady stuff, including the boss's death, moving their evil plans forward the whole time.
Yeah, even now. That's the curse that Alberic was talking about.
But what's its end goal? Bringing back the Great One? Or is it trying to win the rivalry of the Seven, to become the Great One itself? Is that what the OZ units were created for? What I was created for?
What Milliam gave her life for?
Just the thought of it makes me sick.
We can't let this stand.
Rain?
That thing is the reason for all this suffering. Not only in Erebonia, but in every country surrounding it. Crow, the Lance Maiden, and the Jaeger King were all made into immortals and forced into its game. It took Milliam's life, and the lives of so many others. Major Lecter's father, Major Claire's family, and others still. Innocent people, all made into its victims. Elisa's father, George, my mother, even Chancellor Osborne himself.
Rain, keep it together!
At this rate, the curse will take hold of you.
It seems the truth was too much for him to handle.
Damn it! You gotta get it under control.
Calm yourself, my awakener.
Valimar?
Oh, what is this? It feels so soothing.
Where are we?
Is this the phase space where Divine Knights and Awakeners make their contracts?
Nah. I get the feeling we're somewhere else entirely.
Valimar, you can speak again? This is different from when we spoke back in the workshop, isn't it?
Correct. It seems the curse has temporarily loosened its grip on me. My means of expression remain limited, however. Perhaps I will recover the ability to speak in the real world at some point.
I hope so.
Thank the goddess.
Hear my words, Awakener, and secondary contractors. The Ebon Knight is not the only one to blame for all the tragedies you named. Mankind's weakness contributed to bringing them about. If you fail to understand this, you have no hope of prevailing in the rivalries ahead. Even with the sword.
The sword?
Can't be.
All right! It worked!
Milliam!
Milliam! Hey guys! Did you miss me? I've been watching over you guys the whole time. Every time you got in a pickle, and every time you whooped your way right out of it. Guess I should say sorry, though, for not being strong enough. I wanted to be able to say I saved the day, that I helped protect everyone. But I never thought I'd cause you guys all this grief instead.
Milliam.
You don't have to apologize.
Not in the slightest. You did more for us than we ever could have asked.
I'm guessing the two of you appeared to tell us something important. Am I right?
Yeah, being stuck like this helped us finally figure a few things out. First off, you were right about the rivalries being struggles for power between the Divine Knights. Crow's an immortal, so he should have totally vanished from our world after he was defeated. But it seems like you guys figured it out. Making him your kin like that
bought him some more time. Though, when it comes to the end of the Great Twilight, I probably don't even need to say it.
That's me, living with a death sentence over my head.
Crow.
There is one more thing to mention regarding the Ebon Knight. His power is immense, beyond the reach or understanding of this realm. He could defeat every one of us. However, this would not make him whole again. He requires a worthy opponent. As such, I expect the following will occur. The Ebon Knight will wait until one knight has absorbed the power of the other 5 in order to have his worthy opponent. However, because this opponent has such power, it is at this point Ishmelga could potentially be defeated.
The Jaeger King's Palatinate Knight, the Steel Maiden's Argent Knight, the Prince's Vermilion Knight, Rufus's Auric Knight, and Reen's Ashen Knight partnered with Crow's Azure Knight. It'll be one of them who'll be going toe-to-toe with the Ebon Knight.
How about it, Reen? Looks like we don't have much of a choice.
Your rivalry at the Soul Shrine was only a preview of what's to come.
Maybe we can convince the boss to join us, just like Crow.
Perhaps. And from what we saw in those visions, there could certainly remain a chance to recruit the Steel Maiden to our side as well.
That's right. They of all people should understand what it is we're fighting for.
We can make it work. I'm sure of it.
Ain't gonna be easy, but at least now we finally got some light at the end of this tunnel.
Maybe so. But I somehow doubt Rufus or the Prince will be half as eager to team up with us.
So long as Valimar can win the rivalries and absorb the power of their knights, it shouldn't pose too much of a problem.
With more allies and more power, we might actually have a shot against Chancellor Osborne.
Our odds may be slim, but this is our best chance to defeat Ishmelga for good.
I've made my decision, Valimar. Not as the sacrifice, and not as an ogre, but as myself. We're going to see these rivalries through to the very end, with you and Milliam at our side.
Well said, my Awakener.
That's what I like to hear. I'll be right there with you all the way.
Milliam! Stop! Don't go!
Please, wait! There's still so much I have to say!
Come on, guys. You don't have to worry. Even if you can't see me, I'm always with you. Remember, we're all a team, no matter what happens.
Oh. That wasn't just a dream, was it?
No, it wasn't.
Now I see. She was never gone. She's been here all along.
My big sister. I'm so glad.
She's come such a long way. I can hardly believe it.
What exactly was that, Grandmother?
A liminal space between dreams and reality, bestowed unto you by the spectral moon mirror. Something similar happened back when I inherited my predecessor's responsibilities. The mirror has granted us more than expected. All those centuries of watching over it were well worth it.
Yeah, they really were.
Rosalia, and Emma, and Celine as well. Thank you for everything.
You could pass that on to Vita and the Rakshasa, too. Props for all the help.
Valimar has fallen silent once more, and it's unlikely Milliam will be able to speak to us like that again. Yet, their souls are still with us, always. Of that we can be certain.
Indeed. Now that we're all together again, there can be no more room for doubt in our path as Class 7.
And as members of the Radiant Wings.
Probably would have been screwed without you witches helping out, though. Guess that's worth a thanks or two.
Definitely. I think I'm finally ready to face my father and Sharon again.
Yeah, we owe you guys. Big time.
You guys.
You're making way too big a deal over it. I didn't do anything. But I guess I'm glad things worked out.
Ah, it feels as though several centuries of weight has been lifted from my shoulders. As for the new facts that were revealed to us, I will let Vita and Thomas Lysander know what they should.
That'd be a great help. Thank you.
I'm just happy I was able to carry out my duty as a wandering witch. But I couldn't have done it if our family hadn't worked so hard to protect this sacred place. So thank you, Grandmother, for guiding our clan for so many years. And, more than anything, for making me the person I am today.
Just where's all this coming from? What do you think you're doing? Are you trying to bring your poor granny to tears? This old heart of mine can only take so many surprises.
My word.
It would seem our little trip can be counted as a success.
We should bring the good news back to His Highness and the others.
Right. Best not to keep them waiting any longer. Let's be off. To the Courageous 2.